bend over and actually turn that knob underneath. Restaurant was like, it was broken, throw it away.
I got the broken chair.
There's a knob underneath. It's a knob.
Cameras are on.
We good?
Come on.
All right. All right, I'd like to open up this town council meeting for August 1st. Please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You're up, Twyla.
Roll call. Counselor Albert.
Here.
Counselor Colby.
Here.
Counselor Crawford.
Here.
Counselor Lunt.
Here.
Counselor Ward.
Here.
Counselor Crafts.
Here.
Counselor Brunel.
Here.
Moving right along.
Under good news and recognition, we need a motion to adopt a resolution, 2017-188, the U12 Cal Ripken State Champions.
I got Mr. Albert. I need a
Make that
second.
motion.
I'll second.
Second. All in favor?
Order passed, 7-0. So we'll have the Cal Ripken boys come forward, be recognized. And I'll read the resolution for you. You want to join me so you can present it?
Absolutely.
All right.
Coaches should join them too, yeah?
Yes, please.
Coaches should join him too as well, please.
Absolutely.
Actually, the president of the league is in the house. He should join us too. Let's
Tall
go.
guys in the back, short guys in
Come
the
on.
front.
Hey,
No,
yeah,
no,
give me
no,
some of that.
Godfather, that's just not clearly gonna work for me. Let's go. When we have the
There
Godfather,
we
we'll
go.
get started.
Very nice.
There you go. There you
That'll
go.
be a nice picture.
Absolutely.
This resolution reads as follows. Whereas the Lisbon Junior Athletic League was founded in 1970 to promote the growth of baseball and softball at all levels of championship of the Lisbon community. The Lisbon development of sportsmanship, teamwork, honesty, courage, respect for others, and physical fitness are this volunteer organization's priorities. Whereas the Lisbon Boys U12 All-Star Team won the 2017 Cal Ripken State of Maine Tournament in Belgrade on Wednesday, July 5th, with a win over Marshwood. This is the second consecutive year that the Lisbon Boys U12 All-Star Team have won the Maine State Tournament. Prior to that, the last time Lisbon was state champions for this age group was in 1992. Whereas the Lisbon Boys U12 All-Star Team went to finish second overall in the New England Cal Ripken Regional Tournament held in Raynham, Mass., being defeated by Providence, Rhode Island on July 20th. Whereas this Lisbon U12 All-Star Team has an impressive 2017 summer season, besting programs much larger than the LJAL, but providing Lisbon's program continually ranks among the best. Now therefore, we, the Town Council of the Town of Lisbon, wish to congratulate and thank the Lisbon U12 All-Star players, Hunter Brissett, Mason Booker, Levi Tibbetts, Drew Wilcox, Riley Turner, Bryce Poulin, Caleb Phillips, Danny Levesque, Jimmy Fitzsimmons, Cameron, Chase Malott, and Aiden Parker, manager Scott Tibbetts, coaches Ryan Booker, Andy Wilcox, and Angel Tibbetts.
Nice job, boys.
Stand up and smile pretty.
Yeah.
Be sure to send me an electronic copy so I can include it in the town report next year.
Way to go, boys. Way to go.
Thank you.
Good job.
We were getting updates the whole time.
Yeah, we were.
Thank you. This is what I was expecting tonight. Good night.
All right, Twyla, you're up.
Next item under good news and recognition is a motion to adopt Order 2017-188B, the proclamation for Childhood Cancer Awareness Month, September 2017.
I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I need a second.
Second.
All in favor?
Order passed 7-0. Would you like?
Before you read it, I just want to let you know how this came about. Jessica Bonsaint, who lives in Lisbon Falls, I don't know if any of you know her. No, you're not her, are you? No, okay. I didn't know if she came tonight because she knew this was going to happen. She asked that council adopt this proclamation, and she has a son that's fighting cancer, so she wanted us to do this. She said Durham has done it, and a lot of other communities around the state and the country has adopted September as Childhood Cancer Awareness Month. So that's how this came about.
Thank you.
The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection report, cancer is the leading cause of death by disease among U.S. children between infancy and age 15. This tragic disease is detected in more than 15,000 of our country's young people each and every year. Whereas 1 in 5 of our nation's children loses his or her battle with cancer. Many infants, children, and teens will also suffer from long-term effects of comprehensive treatment, including secondary cancers. And whereas founded over 20 years ago by Stephen Firestein, a member of the philanthrope Max Factor family, the American Cancer Fund for Children Incorporated and Kids Cancer Connection are dedicated to helping these children and their families. And whereas the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection provide a variety of vital, patient, psychological services to, or I guess, yeah, psychosocial services to children undergoing cancer treatment at the Barbara Bush Children's Hospital at Maine Medical Center, as well as participating hospitals throughout the country, thereby enhancing the quality of life for these children and their families. And whereas the American Cancer Fund for Children and Kids Cancer Connection also sponsor Courageous Kid Recognition Award ceremonies, community get-well cards, and hospital celebrations in honor of a child's determination and bravery to fight the battle against childhood cancer. Dated this first day of August, 2017, the Lisbon Town Council.
Thank you, Twyla.
Yes.
Any other good news recognition?
I'm kind of the elephant in the room. No, I'm not going to stay thunder. You do it.
No, you were there too. Go for it. You talking about earlier?
Yeah, you do it. You do it. Go ahead.
I'd like to thank the Lisbon PD and the fire department for hosting rec department and PCL and anybody else that might have been involved with the night out, national night out that's actually going on at MTM right now. There's probably a couple hundred people actually at that park. And 6 o'clock, they also dedicated the playground to Mitchell Tuplin. Very well received. Pretty cool night to actually be a part of something in Lisbon. So I want to thank those folks for taking the lead on that. Anything else you want to add to that?
No, that was perfect, bud.
Beautiful.
I just have one thing.
Sure.
I just want to recognize Jody DeRisco, who is going to be
Thank
leaving
you.
our employment to go to work for the City of Auburn as the executive administrative assistant to the town manager and assistant city manager. So I just want to say I've had the opportunity and the pleasure to work for her for the past 3 years, and she's been an asset to the town, and she's going to be sorely missed. So it's going to be our loss, but Auburn's gain, and it's a good career move for her, and I wish her all the best.
Thank you. Moving right along, Twyla.
Next item, public hearings, 10 Congress Street, under the Dangerous Building Subchapter, which is Subchapter 4 of Chapter 91 of Title 17 of the Maine Revised Statutes.
Okay,
that.
like last week, last meeting, I should say, there's a script to this. So I will do my part and we'll take it from there. Opening statement of the Lisbon Town Council, August 1st, 2017. Here you can just secure a dangerous structure pursuant to Maine MS 2856, 10 Congress Street. The Town Council is meeting this evening to conduct a hearing to determine whether the structure at 10 Congress Street poses a serious threat to the public health and safety within the meaning of applicable state statute found at 17 MRS 2856. If we determine that the structure does pose a serious threat to the public's health and safety, we will then determine what action or under the same statute, a municipality shall have the right to secure structures which pose a serious threat to the public health and safety. This is the standard that we will use to decide whether the council should order that the structure at 10 Congress Street be secured. Before we start, I first have a question for all town council members. 10 Congress Street is owned by Roxanne Gary and the heirs to Russell Gary. Is any town council member able to fairly and impartially hear the facts and decide whether the matter, based on evidence presented at this hearing, because he or she knows the property owners or has knowledge about this matter? Seeing none. Next, as I ask that any representative or representatives for 10 Congress Street or any party in interest who is present tonight, introduce yourself, including identifying your name, address, and position. Now the anybody? Seeing none again. Now that the procedures that the town council will follow in conducting this hearing are as follows. Any document to be used in this proceeding will be marked as an exhibit. I accept into evidence the code enforcement officers previously provided exhibits A through N for Congress Street. The presentation of evidence for the property will occur in the following order. The Town of Lisbon Code Officer will present an opening statement and relevant evidence regarding why the structure at issue poses a serious threat to the public health and safety, and if it does, what the remedy of the council shall order. That's him. You're up, sir.
Go.
Do G and H, and then I'll
Come back? All right, good.
finish the rest of yours. You can skip B through F, I believe.
Town council members can then ask questions of the code officer, other party, or a witness. Each side can then make closing remarks, not more than 2 minutes each. Only parties hearing these will be allowed to participate. Comments from the public will not be taken at this hearing. All other information has been presented. The record will be closed, and town council will deliberate and take a vote on whether the structure in question poses a serious threat to the public health and safety. If the council determines that the structure poses a serious threat to the public's health and safety, it shall deliberate and take a vote on the appropriate order to be made to remedy the situation. This is an administrative hearing and not a court proceeding or trial. Therefore, the formal rules of evidence will not apply. I, as Town Council Chairman, will determine the appropriateness and admissibility of evidence or the advice of the town attorney. You're up.
Council? 10 Congress Street, so essentially, this is the second one that we have in front of us. A few more to come here soon, trying to get a few things cleaned up. It's just been ongoing for a long period of time, but so essentially, to start with this one, 10 Congress Street, Lisbon, contains the remains of a single-family dwelling deeded on October 4th, 1991 to Roxanne Jerry and Russell Jerry. The deed to Roxanne and Russell Jerry is in your packet as Exhibit A. I believe that's what you're getting passed out now. Russell died on January 27th, 2010, and a copy of his obituary is included in your packet as Exhibit B. The following...
Dan?
Thanks.
Sorry, Dennis.
The following entities have filed a lien on the property. We have North Star Capital Acquisition, Ford Motor Credit Company, Midland Funding LLC, Discover Bank, LVNV Funding LLC, Capital One Bank, and Ohio Receivables LLC. So I'll run down through this piece real quick, because I'm sure it doesn't matter too much to you folks, but on July 7th, of this year, a notice of this hearing was recorded in the Androscoggin County Registry of Deeds in Book 9635, page 148, a copy of which is included in your packet as Exhibit C. On July 27th, 2017, Roxanne Gary signed an acknowledgement of receipt of the notice of hearing, which is in your packets as Exhibit D. On July 10th of 2017, the main registered agent for North Star Capital Acquisition received via certified mail a notice of hearing, and proof of receipt is included in your packet as Exhibit E. On July 10th, Ford Motor Credit Company received via certified mail a notice of hearing and that return receipt is in your packet as Exhibit F. On July 10th, Midland Funding received via certified mail a notice of hearing, and that return receipt is in your packet as Exhibit G. On July 11th, Discover Bank received via certified mail a notice of hearing, and that return receipt is in your packet as Exhibit H. On July 10th, LVNV Funding received via certified mail a notice of hearing, and that return receipt is in your packet as Exhibit I. On July 16th, Capital One Bank received via certified mail a notice of hearing, and that return receipt is in your packet as Exhibit J. On July 12th, Ohio Receivables LLC received via certified mail a notice of hearing, and that return receipt is in your packet as Exhibit K. So all lien holders were also sent the notice of hearing via first-class mail. So at this point, everybody's been notified and accepted notification. Securing a dangerous structure. So essentially, I have to give my qualifications for a dangerous structure. Those are included in Exhibit L in your packet, which is essentially my certifications for code enforcement, building inspection, land use codes, perform duties as local plumbing inspector and also as local health officer. Notice of violation sent to the owner included in your packet at Exhibit M. So on August 19th of 2015, Code Enforcement Officer Dennis Douglas issued a notice of violation to Roxanne Jerry for a serious threat to public safety and dangerous building laws under Maine Revised Statutes, Title 17, Chapter 91, Subchapter 4, Dangerous Buildings. On April 10th, 2017, Code Enforcement Officer, again Dennis Douglas, issued a notice of violation to Roxanne Gary to remove the hazardous debris and to bring the property into compliance with the building and property maintenance standards. The present conditions at 10 Congress Street are portrayed in the slideshow, which is included in your packet as Exhibit N. You can only have 2 slides there. That pretty much sums up that property. And conclusion, the structure at 10 Congress Street is a dangerous structure for the following reasons. It constitutes a fire hazard. The trash and debris at the property invites rodents and is unsanitary. It is dangerous to life and property, and a child or vagrant could become hurt by the condition of the property. As such, we ask you to adopt our proposed findings of fact and conclusions of law and order the structure to be secured and demolished.
This was a fire, correct, Dennis?
So the history on the building had collapsed into a pile. There's a file that this thick of previous code enforcements. That's actually been in that condition since I started this job, dealing with essentially an owner that doesn't have any means to take care of it, clean it, remove the debris. It's just been ongoing for many, many years, and we just need to finally take step to take care of that neighborhood, and it's not fair to the abutting property owners for that to be left in that condition. It meets all the qualifications from our property maintenance standards and dangerous buildings. So yes, it collapsed, was left that way. I believe the owner's son tried to get a permit to burn it, wasn't given a permit to burn it because it's never been separated. Everything's all there.
For the obvious reason.
And then they decided to burn it anyways. The fire department responded, went out, put it out, and told them not to ever do that again. So now what you have is the charred remains of everything that was there from the get-go. So the property's a mess and just needs to be cleaned up once and for all.
Is there a foundation that's exposed in this?
I believe it was just crawl space, not a full basement, but yeah, it's full with all the debris.
I've seen it. It's a mess.
And I know we're talking about 10, but there was a reference to 12 in there. Are they same property owner?
Same property owner, if I have that, it might be under the son's name at 12, but
Okay.
the original owner of 10 moved to 12, which is a mobile home right beside it.
Okay.
So, it had its own issues in regards to trash and litter, that's been somewhat cleaned up there. So the only action is on the 10 Congress Street property, which is half demolished building. So,
Thank you.
I think it's easy. You guys went way above and beyond.
Anybody else?
let it go for a long time.
Yes.
Is anybody else actually allowed to be able to speak on this? Or is that portion, or are we still going through the script?
My script's over.
Anybody else wanting to speak on behalf of this property? Closing the public hearing. Now, there was a question about the third part in this process, and we were waiting for you. Did you get your answer? Ask your question.
So we're gonna get to order 2017-191, and Dan, we wanted to know how you wanted us to incorporate the findings of facts, conclusion of law, and approval of an order. Was there a motion that should be made?
There's a form of order, and I don't know if everybody has copies.
Yep. I have enough here.
I would propose that,
Somebody make a motion and read that.
motion to adopt the final facts of law
Go Cassie.
at Finance Street.
There's your motion. She's reading and knows what she's saying first.
Yeah, so it would be an emotion to adopt the findings of facts, conclusions of law, and order as presented, correct? Yeah, okay, so we can continue on the agenda when we get there, we can do that again.
Okay.
Okay.
That gives you a chance to actually get familiar with what we're talking about there. Okay. Public hearing is closed. Next item.
A victuals license, Lisbon Moxie Inc., doing business as Frank's.
I will open the public hearing. Anybody want to speak on that subject? Seeing no movement in the room, I'm closing the public hearing.
Okay.
Next item, 12.
Audience participation and response for agenda items.
Anybody wishing to speak before the council on any of the topics tonight, feel free. Please announce who you are to the microphone. Again, seeing no movement, moving
Okay.
right on.
The consent agenda is next. Any counselor wishing to have any item removed may do so now. Order 2017-189, to approve the municipal accounts payable and payroll warrants number 5, 6, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13, with a note there is no 7.
Thank you.
School accounts payable and payroll warrants 1004, 1005, 3, and 1802.
I need a mo,
Along with the
Oh, sorry.
workshop minutes of July 18th, the regular minutes of July 18th, a new victuals license for Lisbon Moxie Inc. doing business as Frank's, and an announcement for the nomination papers that are available for the November 2017 annual municipal election.
were you going to read that? You had something on that subject, right?
I don't have it in front of me, but the papers are already available. They need to be filed on September the 11th at 6 PM and no later. And
My understanding it's 3 positions.
one at-large for counselor, one for the school, and one for the water.
Thank you. I need a motion.
I'll make that motion.
Need a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Order passed 7-0.
Next item, Twyla?
Under council orders, ordinances, and resolutions, order 2017-190, the MMA annual election for vice president and executive committee members.
Everybody's read it. Jim is actually, Jim Bennett is running for a 3-year term as a proposed director. Seeing the list of eligible candidates, I would endorse all of them in that regard. In fact, it's vote for 1, there's 1 for vice president, and 3 for the nominating committee for directors. I would, you can take that. You can do that on our behalf, and we sign it.
You want to include that in your motion
Yep.
to vote for the slate of officers as presented on the ballot and to authorize the town manager to sign the ballot? Mhm.
That sounds lovely. I need a motion to that effect.
I'll make that motion.
Thank you, sir. I need a second.
A second.
All in favor?
Order passed 7-0.
Thank you, Twyla. Next item.
Order 2017-191 to secure a dangerous structure at 10 Congress Street. And to repeat that proposal for a motion, it was to adopt the findings of fact, conclusions of law, and order as presented.
I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I'll second.
You need to read that now.
Are we reading the entire thing?
Yes.
I'm seeing a yes.
Okay. I should have brought my glasses. On August 1st, 2017, at 7 p.m., the Lisbon Town Council held a hearing at 300 Lisbon Street, Lisbon, Maine, to determine whether the remains of the residential structure, otherwise known as the structure, at 10 Congress Street in Lisbon, Maine, known as the premises, identified as Lot 008 on tax map U-19 and further described in a deed recorded in the Androscoggin County Registry of Deeds at Book 2776, page 75, poses a serious threat to the public health and safety within the meaning of the applicable Maine statute found at 17 MRS Section 2856. Based on the information presented at the hearing, the council makes the following findings of fact and conclusions of law and orders that the structure be secured. Findings of fact. Present at the hearing on this matter for the town was Dennis Douglas, Town of Lisbon Code Enforcement Officer. No individual appeared on behalf of the owner and/or parties in interest. After considering the testimony and evidence presented, the town council makes the following findings of fact. 1. Roxanne Jerry and Russell Jerry are the owners of the premises, otherwise known as owners, Code Enforcement Exhibit A. Number 2, on January 27, 2010, Russell Jerry died, Code Enforcement Exhibit B. Number 3, on July 7, 2017, a copy of the notice of the hearing held pursuant to 17 MRS Section 2856, the notice, was recorded at the Androscoggin County Registry of Deeds at Book 9635, page 148, Code Enforcement Exhibit C. Number 4, on July 27, 2017, Roxanne Jerry signed an acknowledgement of receipt of a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit D. Number 5, North Star Capital Acquisition filed a lien on the premises and is a party in interest. Number 6, on July 10, 2017, the main registered agent for North Star Capital Acquisition received via certified mail a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit E. Number 7, Ford Motor Credit Company filed a lien on the premises and is a party in interest. Number 8, on July 10, 2017, Ford Motor Credit Company received via certified mail a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit F. Number 9, Midland Funding, LLC, filed a lien on the premises and is a party in interest. Number 10, on July 10, 2017, Midland Funding, LLC, received via certified mail a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit G. Number 11, Discover Bank filed a lien on the premises and is a party in interest. Number 12, on July 11, 2017, Discover Bank received via certified mail a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit H. Number 13, LVNV Funding, LLC, filed a lien on the premises and is a party in interest. Number 14, on July 10, 2017, LVNV Funding, LLC, received via certified mail a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit I. Number 15, Capital One Bank, USA, NA, filed a lien in the premises and is a party in interest. Number 16, on July 16, 2017, Capital One Bank, USA, NA, received via certified mail a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit J. Number 17, Ohio Receivables, LLC, filed a lien on the premises and is a party in interest. Number 18, on July 12, 2017, Ohio Receivables, LLC, received via certified mail a copy of the notice, Code Enforcement Exhibit K. Number 19, the residential building on the premises has collapsed and has been only partially demolished. Number 20, the debris from the structure was not removed and remains on the premises. Number 21, trash has been deposited on the premises and invites rodents. Number 22, the owner set fire to the remains of the structure, to which the Lisbon Fire Department responded and extinguished. Number 23, the structure is not secured and there is no barrier between the property and the town road or abutting properties. Conclusions of law. Applying the legal standards set forth in 17 MRSA Section 2856, the Lisbon Town Council reaches the following conclusions of law. 24, the structure constitutes a fire hazard. 25, the structure is unsanitary. 26, a child or vagrant could be hurt or killed by the condition of the property. 27, the structure is dangerous to life and property. The council hereby concludes that the structure at 10 Congress Street poses a serious threat to the public health and safety and supports a finding that the structure must be promptly secured pursuant to 17 MRSA Section 2856. Order. Having found that the structure at 10 Congress Street poses a serious threat to the public health and safety within the meaning of 17 MRS Section 2856, the Lisbon Town Council hereby orders: the town shall have the authority to promptly secure the premises and remove the serious threat to the public health and safety by removing all trash and debris and stabilizing the site. That within 30 days, after demand by the town, the owners and/or its successors and assigns shall reimburse the town for all expenses incurred in connection with this proceeding, including but not limited to expenses for securing and demolition of the structure, service and other costs incurred, and attorney's fees, if applicable, if the town cleans up the structure. That if the owners and/or its successors and assigns fail to timely reimburse the town for the expenses provided for above, the town shall assess a special tax against the premises as provided for in 17 MRSA Section 2853, and/or recover its costs by means of a civil action for collection. This decision may be appealed to Superior Court under Maine Rules of Civil Procedure 80B.
Good job.
That's a lot of reading.
Oh, welcome to the party.
Dennis?
Kind of cross-eyed here.
That's not funny either.
I know we have legal counsel here, so I thought it'd be a good chance for me to learn the process a little bit more. So if I could maybe just ask a couple quick questions on essentially where it goes from here, on how we go about securing the structure, whether we do that through our public works or if we actually send that out to bid to clean up the site. So that's, I guess, one question I have there. And the second question, I think you've been through this before, but from a position standpoint, does this, where none of the other lien holders showed up, put us in first position on that property in regards to the liens?
The special tax that can be assessed for the costs of cleaning up the site will be treated as would any other tax on property. So if it's not paid and the foreclosure process is complete, then the town would have priority.
Right.
Just
What
trying
I
to
understand on
where
that.
we stand on it, because there's obviously a number of liens on this property, so where that puts us in position if we go in and put the investment to clean the property up. But the ultimate goal is to get it cleaned up, so we're taking care of the neighborhood and whatnot, but where that burden falls on the town is what I'm trying to understand, and
Correct.
and where we can shake out those costs eventually, you know.
Where it typically shakes out is they either pay up or you end up collecting on a matured tax lien and you end up with a property that's available for sale.
Yeah. My guess is you're at a $4,000 or $5,000 cost to clean up. You
In
know,
this case, yeah, probably.
You know, that's
I-
probably
I
what I'm
mean,
looking
It's,
at.
it's minimal because the building's down. I guess my question to you is, did this guy ever get prosecuted for arson?
I don't believe so. I think it was a slap on the wrist and
Really?
told not to do it again, but
What
I
an
have to double check
unfortunate, what an unfortunate circumstance.
Not against the law to burn your own property down.
It's still arson.
I understand, but it's still. I don't
Tell me how
believe-
that's
was
not a
already down.
crime.
Am I correct,
It
Dan?
was
I
a
don't believe it's
campfire,
against the
I
law,
think.
because I know other people that have actually burnt their own places down and only got a bill from the fire department. There was no legal action
Right.
taken because it's your property, and if you don't like it,
Did he get a bill from the fire department?
Technically, that's not his property if there's lien holders.
I understand, but.
That's a crime.
Yeah, if anything, it was a burning without a proper permit, but I'm not sure what action the fire department took. I know they went and
Right.
extinguished it and told them not to do it again. That's all I remember, but.
Well, there wasn't much left to do again.
What's,
It's,
There was no insurance on it.
right. There are also lien holders on the property, so the fact is, the wires are disconnecting right there. You burn something that you don't own.
Is it possible for the town to Public Works to clean that up?
I don't know, I'd have to check with Ryan.
I guess that's what I'd be looking for direction on how to proceed on my end from this point. you
I
know.
think in the past, we've usually used a demolition company and put it out to somebody that's professional at that rather than trying to have Public Works do it. You don't want to get people injured on their site when they're
No, we
not,
don't
you
know
know,
what's in
experts at
there
that.
either, So
Right.
it should be somebody else.
And that way you have a clean bill, you can see, okay, this cost us $5,000 and we can attach that to it rather than have, try to estimate our,
Right.
hours that we
So
didn't really
moving-
spend the money
We
separately.
need to go get quotes.
moving forward as cleanly and as cost efficiently as possible.
So we would actually put it out for a bid.
Put a bid together
Yeah.
to be able to
And
move
then pack it
forward.
together to,
I
you know,
think
have a site visit there at some point.
your preliminary figure, with what my limited experience doing this for the city of Lewiston in the last month, you're probably not wrong because it's already down. It's not having to pay somebody to come in with the equipment, you're just now picking it up to put it in a truck.
Yeah. it's
What you
mostly-
don't have at your disposal that Lewiston has is where's the debris going? They work out arrangement to haul the to MWAC, becomes ash and comes back to our solid waste, that there's a little bit of a windfall there from Lewiston's perspective that we would have to pay for the disposal as well.
Yeah, typically, if you're gonna bid it out, that's
It's part of
entirely
the
up to the
cost.
contract, it's part of the cost.
Right, and what I'm saying is
That's nothing to do with-
that's gonna go up because they're gonna have to pay for that versus what Lewiston doesn't have to do.
Yeah, probably looking at a 2-day operation, clean it and grade it. Be-
Well, and the other part, the bigger expenditure will be dealing with bringing the foundation back up to grade to grass that back over.
Right, and that's, I guess, to the extent of the town wanna take it, we can clean it up, we can't leave the hole there, so you'd have to
Right.
fill it
Tip-
and
tip-
cap it over. yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that would be part of the bid process is to bring it back up to that level.
Yep. I'll have to
Right.
do a little more thorough look at the property to know kind of before I write it up.
Right.
So, all right, so I'll just put together a work order or a spec list, and then I'll work with Diane to get it out to bid.
Right.
And then do we notify them at this point, or they get a notice of the findings of fact? All of them,
Yeah,
right? So,
yeah, we'll,
You still need a vote,
we get
because
the,
Yeah. But procedurally, in that regard, is what we need to do is figure out what the costs are. It becomes an actual bill, that, like a special tax, that they have a certain time to actually pay, and then it begins the process, if they don't, for the lien process
like
after
a
the fact.
regular tax
Just like
lien.
anything else at
Yep.
that point. What it does is it takes it off the tax roll and puts it on the collector
Yep.
aspect.
Very good.
Your problem becomes mine.
thank you, Dennis.
There's a motion, there's a second. All in favor?
Order passed, 7-0.
Thank you. That was pretty convoluted. Next item, Clyde.
Other business, council committee reports.
School.
No news, good news.
Planning Board, they had their meeting Thursday night. They had a conditional use for Corcoran at 12 Forbes Road. They had Domino's site plan review, Friendly Beginnings Daycare at 8 Blethen, and a rear conditional use on Farnham Road. Anything of note on those, Dennis, that?
Two were just initial applications on the daycare and the rear lot, so there'll be public hearing at the next planning board.
Right.
The Domino's was the same thing, initial application, lengthy discussion in regards to some things that the planning board wanted to see for the next meeting. So as long as they produce those scale plans and stuff that we need on the site plan, then they'll proceed with a public hearing. So notice to go out tomorrow for the public hearing. If they don't produce documents in time, then essentially there won't be a public hearing.
Pushes it back.
So working on that right now, but that was it. And the other conditional use for the home occupation was for the sale of firearms. Was gone through the PD and firearm tobacco, yada yada, so that got approved
Okay.
Thursday, so.
What's the timeline on Domino's that they originally put out there?
What he gave to us and why I tried to keep the public hearing for the next meeting, because they want to have it closed in before winter, so to delay it another meeting is gonna start putting them in a real bind.
Right.
Again, they just got the stuff to us, so trying to work with them. It's there, there's just a couple small things in regards to signage, and the site plan was done on a visual page, not to scale, and they just wanna see something that's to scale, which we require, so, they're working on getting that now, so it should be pretty simple.
Are they still trying to work within the existing structure? Or have they scrapped that idea?
Working with the existing footprint of the structure, but the structure going away and the new building going up,
Right, okay,
trying to stay on that same footprint.
okay.
You gonna save that Dairy Maid sign on the top, put it in the shop down, yeah?
I didn't see that on their plan, no.
No, I figured you might grab that up, but that's all right.
Oh, you go, yeah?
Yeah, I thought it'd be, grab it up. May not find a spot for it right now, but it's something to
It'll
turn up.
look good next to the Rumbo sign.
Yeah, it will, it will.
Water.
I got to sit down with Bill Alexander the other day, who's the superintendent for the water department, and I think one of the biggest frustrations is, it just keeps coming back up, is the social media complaints. They can't do anything from a social media complaint. You have to have an official complaint, right, and then create a work order. They can't do anything from a complaint, but I do know that he's been, from those complaints, he's been actually going home and contacting those people individually through social media to find out what the real problem is. And a lot of them aren't even getting back to him on social media, so he's just getting frustrated because he wants to do the best he can, but people want to complain on Facebook and other social media, but not actually call them and tell them what the problem is. So I think that's one of his biggest frustrations, the whole water department. Other than that, yeah, I think he just wanted me to remind people.
Okay. LDC?
So there's only one thing that I have from that, and the last time that we all got together and the plan was presented for the changes to the project down on 196 corridor there, Economic Development Director Tracy had stated that she had a signed document from the developer committing to those changes, and she said she would get that out. So we was wondering if we could get a copy for the LDC. She can email it out, whatever works best. I'd love to see a copy as well. But that's the only request at this point from LDC.
Yeah, there was a lot of good information that came out of that meeting, hearing it firsthand from
For sure.
all of our associates and all the parties to move that project forward.
Yeah, and I think it was really, we got a lot of good information and real good opportunity to understand how the money that's going to be, that was going to be used in front of Miller's will now be used to go up Union Street. So all good stuff.
Conservation,
Nothing to report?
recreation.
Nothing to report.
County, we have a schedule beginnings in Wednesdays, starting in September. The county commissioners are starting their process right now, so that'll be rolling soon, but it's out there. They're also open to the public. Anybody who wants to, Kieran saw me on a Wednesday night, you can go sit through some more budget hearings. Seeing none, we can move that along. Library.
They've started the Thursday evening program for the reading program, and they've had a lot more attendance than they expected. They've had 20 people regularly attending that, with parents and kids, and it's really been a good opportunity for people who weren't able to make the like morning session they had before. So it's a great opportunity for people who are working during the day and kicking their kids there. So they're really thankful for that we gave them that opportunity to do that. I believe they had 30 kids attending the normal session, the regular one, so it's a big impact on the community down there. Gives people something to do positive in the summer.
Perfect. Thank you, sir. Diane.
We've been working all day on the tax commitment, but I didn't get back in time from the dedication to see Kathy to see what the actual tax rate is, so I will get that out to you tomorrow.
Perfect.
Thank you.
Audience participation. Tag. Anybody want to speak? Come on up. Moving right along.
That's right.
Yeah, you should
There's
go.
somebody in the
Yes.
audience that wants to
Absolutely.
talk.
Perfect.
This is the time to talk if you have something new.
All right, so, not a public person, by the way.
You want to come up to this
Okay.
mic first and tell us who you are and what's going on?
My name is Carrie Farmer Morancho. I own the property on Main Street where Harris to You is. The building next to it, Drapo's, I have under contract and I should be closing next week on.
Good for you.
And I also own Shardlow's chiropractic office. The property itself, obviously, we know that the downtown area is growing and everything else with Frank's there and all the people. Parking's been a big issue. So I made pictures of things. I actually, this here will help to give you a little bit better idea of what I'm actually proposing.
I'm from the neighborhood, I know all these pictures.
Well, I also have a copy of the survey map, which I just got about an hour ago, so I really have no time to go over it, and did print off a couple extra copies, which I'll give them soon if you want one. It is a preliminary thing, but I talked with Diane and with Tracy Stuber earlier, about 10 days ago. I talked to Tracy, and more recently talked to Diane. I think it's been a week. And I was gonna have her present this, but I'm more in a time crunch with where I'm at. So my idea was to come to you guys and try and solve the parking problem in the downtown area and actually sell off my piece of property. I own 3 of them now down there, and give you a right-of-way through Shardlow's property so that you can eliminate some of the entrances across 196 on the corner there, where it's already a problem. I know they're getting ready to do something down there with the sidewalks eventually and with 196 coming through. So my thought was, and I met with, kind of just by chance, your former town manager, John Bouvier, from years ago. He
That's
brought
some years
up,
ago.
yeah, many moons ago. But he brought up a couple different things and a couple ways to go about this. By creating a street or a one-way passage through there, which is already through there, but right now, the right-of-way, and you'll see on the other copy, which obviously you don't exactly have room for, making a one-way street through there with parking on both sides the entire way down creates about 40 to 45 parking spots on my existing property. Part of it now, I can tell you, is gonna be a huge issue for Dr. Mike's in the future. His, or whatever, Mike's Madness, the cafe, whatever it is. Anyway, because he has 2 buildings there, which, like I said, if you saw what he just drew, it would be a whole lot easier to explain this, but, right now there is, once I acquire Drapo's, I will have another 11 spots. I'm having a problem with, I've had to add $4,000 worth of surveillance cameras down there because of crap going on. It's absolutely disgusting down there, the backs of the buildings. I've had kids urinating and going to the bathroom under my steps. It's amazing the things you catch. Drug deals going down in the parking lot, whatever it be. So what it would do is obviously put some of that on you guys. I'll keep the cameras there. You guys can have the problem, but it is a problem, but it needs to be cleaned up. By creating a one-way street, my proposal with the property at Drapo's, I already have 2 people signed on that want to go in that building, is to make a somewhat a mini mall and actually have entrances to 4 different businesses from Drapo's current property, and have a throughway that goes through a common bathroom, which is already actually in place. I'll probably, obviously have to meet with Dennis and see what the codes are there, but it's a huge project, obviously. It would be to open up the windows all across, which is why I gave you pictures of how crappy it looks now. And I also included a picture of the annex building. I think you all know what the annex building is, right? Open up the windows the whole entire length, which creates 5 to 6 new businesses on the Main Street corridor, and also gives you a street, so to speak, where you can put, whatever. But if the backs of the buildings look like the fronts of the buildings, it basically creates a whole nother downtown area and 40 to 50 parking spots, whatever. So I came up with, a couple different things. I wanted to see if there was an interest first, obviously, before I go to the abutting business owners, which obviously with Frank's there, which, I wish Tony would have stayed. I know Dennis is involved too, so it's great that, somebody's here for them. I did reach out to them at one point in time about this, because I know they're having a problem. They don't even have a dumpster on their property that they can use. There's a lot of different issues that with me allowing the town, it kind of washes both things. It shows good faith that we can all work together, because obviously if we can bring more businesses to downtown, it creates, and develops a whole nother area for us. I mean, I've heard talk of a developer coming in and putting a 30-room inn down at the mill. I've heard talk, and there's so much scuttlebutt on the street right now, you don't know what's true or what's not, right? But I do know from some channels, more from the Bath Brunswick area, of people that I do know, that we are definitely on the corridor coming through town, and, so it's, the reason I'm coming to you is because for the last 10 years, and I probably shouldn't even make this public, I've had first rights of refusal on a piece of land that since I bought my land and built and redid my house, of course, came up for sale 3 days after I bought Drapo's or put in my offer on Drapo's. So either I go into it with a very laxed Walmart budget, or I go into it the right way as having the 2 biggest dinosaurs on the main street. Redoing them is going to generate so much more business across the whole downtown area. I know eventually it will grow to probably where, I'd love to see it grow all the way up to School Street for all of us involved. However, I can tell you that currently, I own a hair salon and a day spa that's there too, that rents in that building. I have a all year long ice cream parlor and treat shop that is definite. It's going in where that yellow building is, like where Drapo's painted it yellow. They're gonna do like edible arrangements, they're gonna do tons of stuff. That's a definite. As soon as we close, they will start. There's also, and John was part of the whole thing with Norm Landfair and Noise Lawrence years ago, which I was privy to some of that because I've owned a business in town for almost 30 years, so I do remember some of this stuff. I remember them, digging out, you probably remember, Twyla, them digging out the ground, and they ran into an issue. I don't remember what it is. I will be asking Dennis, because I've also been approached about a bar going underneath there. And for any of you that haven't walked that property, there is a gorgeous, they have done so much of the work for you. What they ran into was a footprint issue or ledge issue, which in those days, they didn't have the capabilities of drilling and that type of stuff. So anyway, that's it. I think it will help the whole, like I said, the whole downtown area. I think by allowing an easement to go through the Shardlow property and coming out, you've eliminated a whole lot less stress to that area. It's gonna help everybody. I mean, I'd made a proposal and kinda put together some stuff to start with as far as what the mini mall was and, you know, what things were going to be there. But obviously, at this point, I either look at this as an option, or I continue to buy Drappos and it sits there, hate to say it, but 4 or 5 years till I regroup from purchasing a different house, because I'm not gonna let that go. Hate to say it, but it's gonna get put on the back burner. By selling the property, it will pay off the loans on those properties and allow me to be able to get the financing and to be able to go after grant money that's available to revise that and actually bring 5 or 6 new businesses to the downtown area, so.
So that's, are you all done? So I can,
Yep, go ahead.
all right, so you told us all about all kinds of stuff.
I did.
And then you told us about you're looking to sell us something? Is that the story?
I want to sell
getting that? Everybody
what
pick
I
that up?
have with the proposal that you would put all that parking in. I mean, I know when I went to see Diane and Tracy, my thing is from, and I go to Freeport shopping and everything else, but I know there's a proposal for a parking lot way down on Davis Street, which I don't know if this is something that is,
How does she
you
know
know,
that?
I don't know.
Because I don't even know what she's talking about.
okay,
No,
well,
no.
I saw a map of it.
I think.
I was
maybe-
shown the
what are
whole
we talking-
Are you
thing.
thinking about she might be thinking about the park and ride Miller's struggle?
Absolutely not.
You're not talking about the backside of the,
Not. I know, I saw the whole plans to Miller's.
okay, so we're
Saw the
talking.
whole plans. I
coming
saw
down-
the entrance and exit to the park and ride that currently exists,
And that continuation
Yes.
back there.
way back behind that,
Yep.
continuing and adding more spaces
Yeah,
down
that-
there, which
that's- yeah,
I
so-
just don't see as,
That has nothing to do with the town.
okay.
Yeah.
Well,
Just-
I
I
don't,
just want to be
All that
clear.
land is being
Okay.
sold, all that land is
That
being
is-
sold to
that is-
one guy, or,
and he's putting the parking out.
He
He's
is
developing it as a
developing-
courtesy to
Well, I
us.
just think
He bought the whole-
crazy to think that
Right.
people are going to park way down on Davis Street behind a rundown trailer park of, you know, I mean, who's gonna park there and walk up to Main Street businesses? It's just an option or, you know, something
Yeah, we-
else to throw out there.
I didn't know he was putting, I didn't know, I haven't
Right.
heard about that he's putting in any kind of public parking at all.
Yeah, there is part of that in the back of 40.
That was.
Behind the park and ride, there is
Yeah.
part
Really?
on his plan, correct.
The walk-through path, so coming off of coming up Davis, if you would take a right at that house where, I'm not sure if it's gonna be converted to a business or not, you take a
gonna
right
be
there, he's gonna
converted.
put a
It's gonna
walking
be-
path through so that you could park there and walk up and then go right up.
Correct. But that's
They talked
in
about
his
putting a,
development.
I was gonna say, it's because they
It's an
even
afterthought,
showed me
Chris.
where, through the trailer park, up to the side of the trailers, it's gonna be a nice little paved path to, I'm like,
You had
okay,
you had
whatever.
another
To
direction
me,
you
that's
were
like a
going with. What
Walmart
was your
solution to
question?
a town
I
that's
wanna
growing and looking good for a change.
I
But,
wanna understand this a little bit
Whatever.
better, Carrie. Are
Go
you
ahead.
proposing to sell us the building that you just purchased? Okay, so you're just talking about that
Looking at selling
through.
you all the parking that
Yeah.
I have down there.
Okay,
All the land masses,
gotcha.
other than Shardlows. You're gonna get an easement through Shardlows. Obviously, you can't take the whole thing, you know, it's,
You know where that is, right?
it would
It's
come out
nice.
at Aroma
Nice.
Joe's.
Yeah, I was gonna say, right there where the
Right.
V is at for the
Right.
Cairo. It'd be like a little green space. According to the drawing, it looks like a little green space with a tree in front.
It's, well, and, you know, I got the map from Tracy the other day when I was there, and then, like I said, there's a whole lot easier
talking about this right
explanation on this to show you what is proposed, and I know that, you know, there's all kinds of different avenues, but,
If you come right down here, Cairo's right
You're proposing a one-way off from Union Street.
right down here, spilling out right
all the
there.
way straight through to 196 access, like I
And
say.
this-
It's, you know, it's one of those, there is a right-of-way through to my property,
No, 'cause this is the one way.
right? And there's no right-of-way through the rest of the way. It actually is very cut and dry, like behind 14 Main Street has 0 property. 0. There's not even it's whatever the town says, 3 feet. And they can't put anything there whatsoever, not even a trash can, from what I am understanding,
Any other questions of Carrie?
or easements.
Thank you,
Thank you.
thank you.
Thanks for coming in tonight, Carrie.
Next item, Twyla. Actually, I'm sorry, is there anybody else wanting to speak before the council?
Just come to look.
Okay,
Oh,
Okay.
yeah.
It must be Heather. Yeah. There we go.
See, we would figure you out sooner or
Process
later.
of elimination.
Yeah,
Okay.
We're
right.
just gonna keep rattling off names till we get you.
that's it.
So the
next-
next item is
next
council
item.
communications.
No,
No appointments.
right here.
Appointments, you skipped right over Heather. We just figured out who she was.
That's right. 2017-193. Am I correct?
10182.
I'm sorry.
So,
52.
Wow, you
Yeah.
have two of them.
I don't want to
Appointments.
appear
Order
biased or anything, but I have no
2017,
more
190.
room for Heathers in my life. I worked for one, I lived with one, so you're on thin ice.
Yeah, so the order is 2017-192, the planning board member. You have an application from Dan Lehman.
Do we advertise this on the signboard or anything on the website? I mean, I'd like to see it out there as a, for anyone to apply, so people don't think it's just, we're appointing our friends or something.
This
Dan Lehman's
actually,
been here, hasn't he, as an associate?
He's been an
Yeah.
associate
And
for over,
thi-
almost,
this is
over a year
actually
now.
for
To
the-
promote him, okay, I'm willing to promote him.
right,
Okay.
now,
Oh, yeah, we already
the-
we already took this.
No, we
No,
took him
no.
as an
we
associate.
ta-
His
was
associate
able to-
position, he's going for
He's an
full.
associate, but the intent here,
To promote him,
to
okay.
promote an associate to the full member.
Okay.
And what would be the one.
We can
to
advertise for the
advertise.
associate spot where he was before.
Correct,
Okay,
correct.
okay, I can support
Because
that.
Had a
that
spot
came
open
from
from
the
Mr.
planning
Neesel.
board's,
Yes,
that's their protocol of
Yep.
the past.
I agree.
All right, anybody got anything to say about it?
All good things, Dan's a good guy.
How many associate, do we have another associate position that's open on that?
Correct.
would-
If he steps this one, there'll
No,
be
is
one.
there, with him being an associate, is there already?
There'll be-
One.
there'll be one
Okay.
at-
These two.
yeah.
So he's the only associate that we have.
No, Jim Lemieux, Jim
Yeah.
Lemieux is an associate as well.
Jim is, right.
5 voting members. Yeah, that's right. That's the
He's gonna
difference
slip
between.
into one position and somebody else is gonna show up and want the other one.
Correct.
I make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Who
Dan
seconded
Lehman.
it?
Who seconded it?
Right here.
Okay,
Chris and Chris.
and order passed 7-0.
Congrats, Dan.
Order 2017-193, the Recreation Committee, we had 2 regular members, and letters for reappointment for Dan Lehman to term expiring 2019, and Zach Schmoll to a term expiring 2020. Plus, we have 1 alternate member, Heather Curtis, and we'd want to reappoint her to a term expiring 2018.
Do we know if Mr. Lehman and Mr. Schmoll, they want to remain? Okay, that's. Come on up and speak for yourself.
You don't have
Whatever
to
you
say
want.
anything.
Nothing. Give us your bio. Come on up. Up here, up here. We have the Sun Journal, so announce yourself, sorry.
I'm Heather Curtis, and I've moved to town. I bought a house at the end of March on Zaymore Street, and I would like to become more of a member of the community and kind of like give back to where I live.
Perfect. Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Thanks for caring.
And welcome.
I need a motion.
I'll make the motion.
I need a
Second.
second, right there. All in favor?
Order passed 7-0.
You're hired.
Welcome to the neighborhood.
Next item,
That's showing
Twyla.
patience
Council
right there.
communications?
The one I have is one from the previous meeting. I would like to see the mass gathering permit put back on the next agenda. It was put up there for discussion, just hoping to have better attendance, to be able to float that, to be able to see it. So the information is in your last packet. I would just ask counselors to look through that, see what you're seeing, see what you're thinking. I know when we first talked about this 2 years ago now, my head, and I know it was some float at the time, not in my head, in the discussion with wrapping this into things like Beaver Park, having weddings and those kinds of things there. PCL getting behind the idea of beer garden during Moxie Days. I know there was a mass gathering permit that they wanted to float the weekend before Moxie Days. That was no way in heck we were going to do it because this ordinance wasn't even in play,
Right.
but it would have benefited that cursory kind of review. Plus, the changing nature of what we got going on downtown, being able to put a mass gathering in there. I would just have you guys do that, see what's there, what the discussion, to at least begin that discussion. All right, anything else? Any other council communications? Seeing none. Next item, 12.
Executive session?
Will we be coming back?
For any vote?
Is there a
Vote?
vote?
Is there a vote
Vote.
afterward?
I don't.
That's a good answer,
That's
Diane.
okay, good.
I don't know.
Class dismissed. How's that? We're staying here.
Thanks.
Staying here?
Thanks for
Okay.
coming.
Hey, we get
Let me
2
read you
seconds.
the
Yeah.
order.
Yes.
Okay?
I need a motion.
I'll make the
I'll-
motion.
I'll
A
second.
second.
I
We
need to read
voted.
it, though.
Boom.
Have to
Class
read it.
dismissed.
She has to read it.
Yeah, legally, you have to read
read
it.
it.
Order 2070-194 to move into executive session per 1 MRSA, Section 405-6C, acquisition of real property or economic development, and Section 405-6A, personnel matters. And so who made the motion?
I made the motion.
Chris, Norm, and it was all in favor.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
You, Twyla, for keeping us straight. Keeping us straight.
Announce it all.
Attendance, can you please elaborate a little bit? Are you talking about-
Those three that showed up.
Hold on a
I wasn't
minute.
even
She'll
talking
shut this
about
thing
something
right
that
off.
radical that night. I already
Switch
killed the
legs.
website.
Well, I wasn't sure if that was more
No,
towards
no, just,
us.
we should have a fuller group to be able to have the discussion at all, because it is new territory. And more so is that with your background from Moxie days, you can get why that would be something that would be beneficial.